welcome back. What does it mean in this conflict in Ukraine, the deployment of these US troops in Ukraine itself? Well, obviously NATO saying they need to control the movement of arms which have come from Poland into Western Ukraine. The thing is, as soon as they set foot in Ukraine, weapons and US troops, they will become a target. And most of these weapons are being sold off to the black market, 40% of them. Not since today or yesterday, at the beginning of this war, when it started rolling in. The thing is, this called goodwill force, which they want to, bring up, like the Magnificent Seven, to fight the evil gringos. That's how I see it. The Western Collective, this conflict against Russia. The fact is, they may take advantage of gathering troops and machinery in the next 2 to 6 weeks, because it'd be the ideal time to organise things on the Western side. And the Russians know perfectly well what the Americans and the NATO are doing on the other side of the fence. And stories, probably Ukraine cities will have to be evacuated because due to lack of utility services. Because Russians have been bombing the infrastructures of the national grid, not the power stations itself. And 90% of the Ukrainians in the dark. And who's going to participate in this so-called war west against east? Well, we've got Romania and Polish soldiers with Ukrainian uniforms. If I'm not mistaken, they're a part of NATO. So, basically, they've crossed the red line. Technically speaking, they are NATO soldiers, which are disguised as Ukrainian soldiers, participating in this conflict. In don't know what role, active role, whatever. These offensives of the Ukrainian military are falling to pieces because they've been sent in conflicts which have been absolutely massacred by the Russians' artillery and offensives. And they continue to send more Ukrainians to be slaughtered as mincemeat, thinking of weakening the Russian defence. The Russians already fortified. They're standing there behind their lines, even them are grouping up soldiers. And it could be even more than 300,000 people called up, respective of their goodwill forces, which they want to set up in Western Ukraine. As soon as they set foot in Western Ukraine, all hell is going to break loose. The idea of Russians using nuclear weapons is very unlikely because it's not the conditions. They said if the safety of the nation is under threat, or Russia gets attacked by foreign powers, they have this option. It's a part of their, doctrination of war. And America has changed it as well. First to strike and sod the rest. Will Europeans be reluctant to fight in this war? I don't think so, because they've got other things to worry about. Lack of energy, cost of living going up, and the finances of this country are going down in the bog.